Okay. Great. How's everybody doing today? And by everybody, I mean one person. Take a drink. It's not sponsored by Coke Zero, but if they wanted to give me that sweet, sweet Coke money, I'd take it. That's Coca-Cola money. Not to be confused with any other kind of money. Itch. Okay. So we're going to do a couple unboxings today, some rebuilds, check some stuff out, and I'm going to set this off to the side. Bring out one of the stars of the show. We're going to start here. These are both reused. I managed to pick this up at auction for 30 bucks. It is, or it looks practically brand new. We'll see once we get inside. So, we've got the box, we've got the keyboard. Let's see. Accessories. It's like a keycap and switch puller and a USB cable. There is something else in here. Try going from the other side. Looks like a couple of switches. Let's see. Okay, these are the switches that apparently come in it. They are Gateron. And we'll see if we can discover what kind of switches those are later on. And keyboard and a manual. We'll leave the manual in there for now. Close this, get it out of the way. Keyboard cover. Keyboard wrapped in some sort of plastic wrap. You can see already there's a switch on the back for USB to wireless to Bluetooth. The keyboard itself. Oop. Let's do that. Let's take a quick look. Has a nice little mountain motif on the back. This is very reminiscent of the QK100, which had a very similar mountain motif on the back. But this has an iridescent mirror weight on the bottom. You can see the keyboard is held together with 8 hex screws running along the bottom here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Long feet. USB. The light magnet is holding it in. So that's a little bit better than the last keyboard we looked at, the Tide65, which was just friction fit. There's a knob. There's the screen. And this is the default sound. Let's go ahead and mute the music. What do you think of the music? By the way, I'll ask this several times. Let's see, can we do this? No. How about this? There we go. Reset that back to its default mode. Ooh. That's interesting. You can lower this down to stop. I don't see that in many keyboards, actually. But here's the default sound typing test, and here we go. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that. There was a giant package out front, which is light as a feather. I don't know what she ordered. Anyway, so stock sound. This is actually really nice. Little knob. Well, Mr. Gateron Switch, what are you? Hold on, let's take a look. Gateron 0. So yeah, standard Switch, but I mean it's well lubed, feels nice, not bad at all. I wonder if I even need to replace the switches in this thing. Do I just want to go with new keycaps? Huh. Okay, well. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a software that I will need. With AL80. Okay, no, there's a JSON file. Oh, yeah, I'll need to plug it in when I switch in USB mode. Now we have a keyboard. Good. Interesting. Kind of like that. We'll go with that for now. But how do I control the screen? Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So the LCD screen is a Windows only. It is also an executable. That comes from Mega Drive. It is an installer. Interesting. Oh, weird. Okay. Let's take a drink. Think about this for a second. I know how I'm handling this. I is our smarts. Alright, let's add a source. Add a window capture. So this is the software for the keyboard itself. And shrink that a little bit. And we should be able to upload a pic now that I've grab some. No. So let's upload a GIF. There we go. Interesting. So I mean, so far it's pretty standard. It's kind of janky looking, but I mean, it has a JSON file for the actual control of the thing. Sharpeny, vague, gray. Who knows? Okay, we're going to transfer this image over and see how it looks. Oh, it was actually loading it. The upload button actually uploads it to the thing, and then it sets it. And the screen itself is pretty nice. I mean, we don't need this anymore. Go away, Yunzii Capture. Thanks for your service. And it crashed immediately. That's nice. Oh. And then it changed what was on the screen. So let's go ahead and reopen it. Right, I forgot about this. It has a little graphic that you can set on the time date itself. It's not quite as elegant as the QK, but it's nice. So we're going to switch to GIF. Try it again. Let's do Jinx this time. It fits to the screen size. The screen doesn't have a very good viewing angle. From here, I can barely see it. Tilted like this, I can see it. So, on your desk, if you're like me, yeah, I can't even see that screen. Viewing angle is shit. Let's see. Let's close it again. See if it crashes again. I think it's crashing. Oh, there we go. That's why it crashed, because it wasn't done transferring yet. I see. Okay, and now we have the graphic on here. Now we can close it. You get a good view of it here. Nice. Jinx. Because everybody loves the crazy. That's why we all have cats. But let's take it apart. See what makes it tick. We already know that we like the switches. Do I have a wedge here somewhere? There you are. This does not want to come off. There we go. We don't want to ruin the finish, so we make sure we use the plastic. This would normally have a peel. We don't have a peel. It's not as appealing. So, also part of the reason why we're going into it, we need to make sure that whoever had this last didn't actually make any mods. Take out that, because in a lot of cases that could actually not be on the inside. Uses the same screws on the front and the back. That's nice. You don't have to worry about putting them back in. This one does not want to come out. It looks like it is stripped. Weird. Let's try this. I got it. I don't like that. Now we'll see what we can do with that. Take it apart. See what did come out. So stay there. Somewhat stripped already. You've got your 3 lights here. Your LED screen is attached directly to the PCB, or it is part of the PCB structure. That is actually good, and it uses a big JST connector. Alright, let's take a look at what we've got here. Unlike the other keyboards that had put in the actual extra parts, this could actually be configured for a split left shift and also ISO. But you would have to desolder and resolder your sockets. So that is a thing. You can see where the ribbon cable comes in here. We are not going to mess with that at all. You can see the gaskets. This uses plate mounted stabilizers, and there is no option for PCB mount. I cannot split my caps lock, which is sad. Overall, there's not a lot that I can do here. You've got this thin pour-on PET foam here on the bottom. You've got a backer here. This is for when you're depressing your knob so you don't bottom it out and short it. I wonder how much this plate foam really is going to do anything for us. And interestingly, it can bottom out with that. Let's go ahead and put it back together. Well, actually, let's do this first. Don't lose screws, Chris. Put this over here and this over here. All right. Actually, make it easier for us to work on this. I'm wondering if I need to replace the switches. So the keycaps, double shot PBT, they are about 1.6 millimeters thick. 1.5, 1.6, yeah, about 1.6 millimeters thick. So these are really nice, usable keycaps if you like the gray, white, black look. There was no noticeable ticking on the stabs, so I'm not planning on taking out the stabs. I'm just going to leave them in place. Actually, before we get started there, let's go ahead and get these keycaps out of the way. You're going to stay there for a second. As with all of these pre-builts, put the keycaps, and if I choose to change out the switches, I'll take the switches, and I will put them in Ziplocs and put them in the box so that they're all together. Okay. How's everybody doing today? I had the day off, obviously. I actually will not be streaming on Sunday because we're going to go watch The Breakfast Club in the theater. So that's fun. But, you know, just because I'm not here, don't you forget about me. See what I did there? Because, you know, the song. So this is obviously a polycarbonate or PP plate with flex cuts in it. It is screwed down to the board. We'll need to unscrew it from underneath. Take a look and see what's on the inside. And we're doing that because, well, when you have a keyboard that is this good out of the box, you have to ask yourself, where can you take it to? Can you take it to prom? Maybe. Can you take it out to, you know, Benihana? You don't want to do that. Shrimp flying everywhere. Bad idea. And don't even get me started on the volcano. Oh my gosh. Alright. So, we can see that there is obviously foam. And we have Phillips head screwdriver. Bits here. I think it's going to be... It's not right. Let's go. You. Again, with these budget boards, it's important that you find the right bits, or at least try to, because these screws are Phillips head and cheap, so they're going to strip pretty quickly, especially if you have the wrong bit. Even if you have the right bit, you can still strip it, so be careful. Looks like there's a total of 6 screws. There are relief cuts. And we'll measure the board itself and see how thick it is. Alright, there's that. Let's go ahead and should be able to take off the plate now. Oh, there's 2 in the center, so there's 8. Miss these guys right here. Looks like the screen might be attached to the plate. If that's the case, I have to be really careful when I take this off. I'm gonna have to watch these gaskets. Gaskets are essentially just silicone rubber bands. They're come here. They're hollow, straight through. Alright, now we can screen is in the plate. Will that hinder me from removing foams and stuff? Doesn't appear so. So, this is our PET and PE sheet. I am going to remove the PET sheet. And I'll probably leave the PE sheet. You just stay back up in there. What did I just say? Okay, there. Okay. And then you have case foam, which will also come out. No, it will not. Case foam is not going to come out because it is around the knob. Since I'm not removing the screen, can't remove the case foam. But that's all right. I wasn't going to anyway. I just wanted to get rid of that PET sheet. Not that I dislike the PET sheets. It's just recently I found that my sound tastes have been changing away from that. Let's get it back in there. Around that. In place. Get all of our little guys back where they belong. And alright, there we go. No PET sheet to be found. However, cat hairs definitely to be found. We are going to use the Gatorons. I was going to replace them, but, I mean, they're nice. Let's just use them. Guessing they're going to be oil lubed from the factory. I'm not sure what Gateron uses. Okay. So yesterday I was kind of chatting about Star Trek and Strange New Worlds, but I mean there's so much new good stuff that's out right now. Like, let's make sure we get stuff on our screen. Wednesday, and let's see what else. There's a new season of Foundation which I thought was gone. Upload, again, I thought that was gone. I need to change up the music. It's kind of exciting music for me putting in switches. Oh, that's interesting. Just realized that the screw is stripped. It's different than the rest of the screws. I wonder if the last person just used a screw that they had. I'm sorry, Yunzii. I'm blaming your screws and some jank screws somebody else gave us. Yeah, it's totally different than the rest. That's the reason why it's stripping out. Here I was blaming your screws. Just somebody getting one over on the man. By the man, I mean, I guess I mean me, because I'm the one who ended up with it. I don't need you. You just stay there. So I was thinking about using Metropolis on here. I don't know what thoughts are on that, if there are any. I have some other sets. I'd have to go downstairs for them. I could also put PBS Classic. Of course, you know, my tried and true KFA PBT white on navy. Always a good option for me. Or a DCX, we can go permafrost. Oh, there. Alright, so we're going to keep these screws out because I tend not to use them. We're going to put them in a little Ziploc and keep them, but not now. And then we're not going to put that screw back in. We're just going to go 7 screws back. And hope it doesn't mess with my sound signature. Tempted to leave off this gasket here under the space bar, but this one's also kind of under the space bar, so I'm gonna leave it. Could remove them both. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Did not get it all the way. Okay. Ignore that. We don't need that. I've got the best viewers in this system. Even if it's one of you, it's still better. Alright. There we go. So now we're going to put our top case back on. And check my screen. Make sure I didn't jack that up. Nope. Looks great. You want to see the light? Light show. Like the gun show. If I had any muscles, which I don't. Alright, you stay off to the side. We're not going to use you. You're wrong. You're good. Alright, now we're getting this going. To our 4 corners. I should have one more. Yeah, there you are. All right, there we go. Put you back in. Now you're all ready for keycaps. Like I said, I'm gonna move you off to the side. Oh, put my knob back on. Knob is not notched. We're going to use Hey Klex, what's going on, man? It's my day off, so I decided that I would build some keyboards. I figured I'd take everybody along with me. This Yunzii AL80 came with some Gateron Zero switches, which actually were really nice. I'm going to end up using them. I mean, they were really surprisingly good. I took out the PET sheet. This was an auction buy, and apparently whoever had it before me lost a screw, so they replaced it with a similar screw, but it's not quite the same. So, and it was a cheap screw, so when I was trying to take it out, it started to strip. So I'm just going to leave it out and go with 7 screws for the case. I think it'll be fine. If not, I will reach out to Yunzii and ask them if they have a screw kit they can send me. Yeah, I mean, that's the danger of getting things at auction. One of the other things from this same batch was supposed to be the Gravistar. And I opened it up, and it was an RK61. I'm like, nope! So we returned it. I mean, in this case, I don't think it's going to be something that I'm going to return. I mean, I only spent 30 bucks on this, so it's a kind of a you get what you pay for kind of situation, I think. I mean, overall, it's an alright for a pre-build. It, you could, if you wanted to, yeah, basically, it's the old, yeah. But, I mean, we reached back out to the auction place. We're like, yes, that was not what was in here. And we'd like to return it. And they're like, okay. And then there was another one. I had won a Tide 65 through them for like 32 bucks. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And it came missing the dongle. And so I reached out to Epomaker, and I'm like, hey, you know, I won this at an auction. Before I went back to the auction people, I just wanted to see if I could just get a replacement dongle. And they're like, unfortunately, we don't have any right now. And so I returned that. And then, like, the next day, the Tide65 went on sale on Amazon for $30. So instead of paying $32, I paid $30. Got it. I did that one yesterday. That's this blue guy right here. It turned out really nice as well. And then after I finish building this guy, I'm going to go ahead and do the MelGeek Hall Effect board, the Made65. Are you doing anything else fun besides hanging out with me? I know I'm exciting. We got page up. Here we go, page down. We got to delete. Well, let's just use Neflock for the delete. Why not? Since I have a Neflock key, I may as well use it. Alright. This is fun. I kind of like it. What do y'all think? Give it some lights. Go ahead and pause that music for a second. We'll do a quick sound test. All right. This is the Yunzii AL80 with the stock Gateron 0 switches. I removed the PET sheet, so it has PE foam, plate foam, and case foam with GMK Metropolis. I mean, let's see. How much does this guy normally retail for? So according to this, their website, It's normally $109. I picked it up for 30 bucks at an auction. I got the GMK Metropolis for another $50 on the last sale. So I'm still at $80. And yeah, I think this was a, all in all, I think this is a fantastic keyboard for what I paid for it versus what it's actually worth. I could still put in the other switches that I got for it, and I would still be at around what you could buy it for right now on their website. Oh wait, actually, let's see. It's the same for the zeros, and this is the same one. But yeah, let's, for poops and ha-has, let's go ahead and see if we pull Gateron zeros out. I'm going to drop my good old pal HMX Chew in here. First of all, I mean, the Chew kind of takes that light and just makes it go crazy. But all in all, I mean, so I mean, this is a, I would say, obviously, you know, in my opinion, the Chews are a cleaner overall sound, but they're higher pitched, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Gateron zeros. So I think we'll stick with those. Put these bad boys back in. Set you up there, and we'll move on to our next unboxing. What do you say? What do I say? Oh, I say put away your stuff. What do you think, Klex? You like the color scheme that I picked? You think the two work together? So this was more expensive at $79.96 is what I paid for it. And this is the MelGeek Made68. Last year they celebrated their 10th anniversary. Although, you know, before nobody had heard of them. So weird. Move that off to the side. This is obviously a plastic case keyboard. I can tell you that already. We've got a quick guide. Show you some of the stuff. And then this box comes with extra keycaps. More extra keycaps. Again, this was a return that I purchased. So this is the some of the replacement keys, Mac keys, plus it comes with a variety of other keys. I'm just gonna put those right back for now, set them off to the side. And it comes with a braided cable, as well as a keycap puller. No switch puller. So there's that. Put that back in there. Set the box. Well, we'll take this cover off, put it in the box, and set the box off to the side. Alright, so this is the Made68, not the Made68 Pro, which has some variances. It's got a purple acrylic back. The USB-C there sits flush. Plastic ABS bottom, front, and on the sides here there are aluminum attachments to the ABS plastic, but behind that is just the ABS plastic. Let's go ahead and do an initial sound test. So the spacebar itself doesn't have any rattle. Every other key has some, though. So we'll have to deal with that probably. No, that's good. I'm glad you... I mean, I like it. I think I have never tried that combination before. Let's see, what do we got inside of here? Are these... Oh, that's interesting. This actually has Gateron Jades in it. Maybe even Jade Pros. Considering how crappy they sounded to me. It was kind of a clean sound, but it wasn't very good. These thin keycaps, about 1.3 millimeters. I mean, they're not the worst, but as you saw, are 1.2 millimeters. That's probably about right. Definitely could benefit from a little improvement. We're going to try some different keycaps on here. Oh, except for, let's see, we're gonna... dropped him over there, and I should have looked where I did drop in. Come on, you. There it is. Okay. There you go. G&H, we need you. Out of the box, I want to see there is a significant difference. I'm gonna hate that later. I mean, it's a cleaner sound, but it's so much higher pitched. And if that is that much higher pitched, hold the phone. Time to try my most unusual switch. Grab myself a couple of DeHuck on points. These are semi-silent switches. They're silent on the top out. Stop. Although these might be the way to go. Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to go today. And then I was going to use my new XVX switches, but I think this really wants KKB VOC on it. Which means when we get to that point, I'm going to have to go downstairs. Before that, I'm going to have to get these two freaking Geon Raws off. Which sucks for removal. Okay. One. And two. Alright, now you get out of here. We don't serve your kind here. Interesting, MelGeek has a tamper protection sticker. I'm tempted to open it just to spite them and then return it. I need to do that. But I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to leave the internals of this case alone. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll see about getting it to here. Looks complicated. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I do need to get those. Alright, so step one. As I have before, zip locking these up. So I have some new Hall effect switches on the way, and those are the MMD Hall effect switches. So I'm looking forward to that. You can be closed. I could use... No, I can't use you. Okay. So this is an aluminum plate. It says, I just noticed this, play for fun, not to win. Which is patently a lie. If you are purchasing a Hall Effect keyboard, you are most certainly playing to win, not for fun. Well, you're probably doing both, but anyway. Play for fun and to win. How about that? That makes a lot more sense to me. So, of course, because it has Jadaron, play for the fun of winning. Yeah, exactly. Everybody loves winning. Just remember, participation trophies are for the people who didn't win. And I know, I lose a lot. Then I pull out the cap. I could do this all day. Until I finally win. And then I've won. Ha ha. And then we quit. While I'm ahead. Oh, except for gambling. Play for fun, not to win. Because you're not going to win. Because it's rigged. You know, you can tell if that it's rigged. Because if you start winning... Come on, last one. Come on. Don't be a bitch. Because if you start winning a lot... Then two large guys come up and ask you to join them for a quick chat. Funny story. When I was a kid, my dad and his two brothers, my parents were big gambling people. They loved going to Vegas and stuff, and they got to know some people. And I grew up in New Orleans, you know, where seafood comes from. And so my parents talked to some people, and they decided they purchased, yeah, plus 10,000. Actually, you know, now you know, there's like videos out there where if you win too much money, they ask you to leave and then just don't pay you. Oh yeah, I gotta fix the stabs. I forgot about fixing the stabs. So they bought a refrigerated truck and decided to start James Brothers Seafood, where they would drive the truck up from New Orleans straight to Vegas and bring fresh seafood to the casino, or at least one casino in Vegas. I found this all out much later because I was a kid at the time. And apparently, as they were approaching Vegas, a black sedan pulled them off the road and said, no, you're not going to do that. And my dad and his two brothers who were going up there for their first trip were like, you know what? We're not going to do that. And they sold the truck because they're not idiots. And that was the 70s when they really would kill you. Ow. Hit the microphone again with my head. You're welcome for all that. Anyway, yeah, it was fun, I guess. So yeah, these are pretty much bone dry. We're just going to put a little 205G0 on them. They do not need to be clipped though, that's nice. And my parents, both of them, still loved going to gamble up until towards the ends of their lives. It was so weird to me that I did not pick up that gambling bug. Unless you want to count keyboards. Because, I mean, some group buys, let me tell you. Apparently, you're just rolling the dice. Although I do Kickstarters, too. Which is, you know, basically the same. Alright. I'm going to trust that I did this right. Music is so exciting. I've been lucky on both fronts. I have never... No one has ever successfully stiffed me on a keyboard purchase. It was close. I did have to reverse charges once, and that was to... what is that freaking exit scammer company that still has their website up, that they're like a store, but they don't deliver anything at this point? With the Alfheim keycaps on them that I really want, that I can't have because they're exit scamming and just leaving up their website. I don't know. Anyway, I obviously purchased the Alfheim from them because it said it was on. They had them on sale. Vala, that's it. Vala Supply. I put in the order. Nothing happened. I waited a while. I reached out to them. Nothing happened. And so I was like, okay, well, either you respond to me with something, or I'm going to start the process of reversing the charges. And by that point, no, it wasn't Kono. I've actually gotten product from Kono. Kono was fine, apparently, as long as you didn't group buy through them. Because everybody else was getting group buy scanned by them, and I'm like ordering switches or keycaps or something from them that they had in stock, and I got them. And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. And they're like, well, that's because you bought an in-stock item, the Adept, and yeah. So, no, Vala Supply. Yeah, now they've been purchased or something. Is that what I'm remembering correctly? Vala Supply is no more, and there's like a new holding company or something like that that has all of their stuff, and people are not going to get their money back because apparently the yeah, I mean, it's so weird to me that people who have been solid in a space or industry and they're suddenly like just gone, and like in the Kickstarter space with role-playing games. Now, there was back in the 80s, there was a role-playing game, and it was called Robotech. It was actually 3 Japanese anime that were rolled essentially in Harmony Gold turned it into one cohesive story. As a kid in the 80s, I loved it. I loved Robotech. So, then I got into role-playing games, and a company called Palladium released the Robotech role-playing game. This is also during the 80s. You know, they released a bunch of supplements and stuff like that, and everything was great. Fast forward to probably about 5 more years ago. Might have been even before the pandemic. Palladium came back in the Kickstarter age, and they were like, hey guys, we're going to do a tactical miniatures game based off of Robotech, because we still have the license to make role-playing stuff for it. And at the time, I had no money, and I could not afford the $100 or $200 that the Kickstarter was, because, you know, you're going to get this box and it was going to have a crap ton of miniatures in it and stuff like that. But I mean, it fulfilled without me, because it didn't need me, and because it was Robotech, and it was Palladium, and everybody respected Palladium because they had been in the role-playing field since the 80s, making content. You know, they had another whole book series called Rifts, role-playing game called Rifts, where it was multi-dimensional, and you can take your Robotech characters and you can put them into Rifts and then interact with. They also at the time had the license for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the role-playing game. Anyway, long story short, too late. They ended up defaulting on the Kickstarter. They made some units, and then instead of sending out units that they had been making to their Kickstarter backers, they started selling them instead, because they had gone upside down on the costs. So they were trying to recoup enough costs from selling the Kickstarter units instead of fulfilling the Kickstarter itself. And yeah, and so basically they got what should have happened to companies that do this type of stuff. They got shunned. Like, you know, there's a role-playing convention called Gen Con, and it's like one of the biggest ones in the United States, and they got banned from it for doing that. And so they ended up going belly up, and they sold off a bunch of whatever stock they had left. People still got screwed out of their money. And I'm like, you've been around since the 80s. What happened? And I think it's just modern economics, and, you know, it's just not the same for them. And I'm not justifying what they did, because I can't. But anyway, I'm going to go grab KKB BOC for this, and I will be right back. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but I'd like to think that people would see it coming and they would take steps to right the ship. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, we're all essentially going to be consumers. We're all essentially going to be it's pretty good. I think it's going to work. No, not. But not you. You're not going to work. What do y'all think of this? It's a little off. It's better in person than it is on camera, though. Probably the cream is coming through more like it is in person. But the purple, I guess it's pretty close. All right. So again, this is Kikobo's Violet on Cream, or VOC set. And this is a double shot ABS set. So it's a pretty high quality version, I like to think. Not sure how I feel about that, but I guess we'll see. Alright, so what do we got? What do we need? We need delete, which I'm going to make be the top. There you are. And then we need, I think you. No, not you. Nope, not you. 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 Yep, and you. And finally, some arrows. Great. I think this works pretty well. Put your toys away. All right, here we go. We're just going to start with a quick sound test, and then we're going to get into the software. So this is the MelGeek Made68 non-pro version with the DeHuck on-point switches and Kikobo Violet on Cream keycaps. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the on points are kind of a weird switch. And let's take a look at that sweet RGB bar, which we have here on the back. Which is nice. Oh. Sorry, Yannick, I did not see that. And both of the keyboards that I have are new. Oops, I missed one of the YouTube channel, or two of them actually, because there was Nuck, who was talking about how the battery life on that other keyboard is good. So let's take a look at the software now. Oh, there we go. Okay. There is a downloadable file. I like it less. Go ahead and check for some updates. So it is already at the latest version. It is an auto-calibrating keyboard. That's nice to see. There are 4 profiles that you can have. Let's go to the default profile. Check out the I don't know what super key means. Oh, okay. It's socked. Well, it's got DKS, macros, advanced, which is a win lock. You can add an advanced, which I assume. Yeah, mod tap, toggle, key lock, and replace key. And DRT. I don't know why somebody would have this purple keyboard's lighting set to there. That's better. And the box light, which we can also set to purple. I wish you could set it to runner, but it's only able to be set to breathing, and I suspect that's because it is all one thing. It's just kind of a bar, which is cool, I guess. We slow it down to 1. How slow is it? Yeah, there you go. That's kind of neat. Ah, that's what I thought. Okay, and yeah. Let's check our key mapping. We're gonna change that to make that delete. Then this is gonna be page up. This is gonna be page down. This is gonna be end. Good. Function layer. We're gonna make that. Volume down. Hit auto advanced. Mute. It's going to be stop. And then we're going to move. This is a good question. Can I move the configs? So there's only one function layer here. So you have layer 1, layer 0, and layer 1. Yes, good. So we are going to move that here. Config mode 1, config mode 2, config mode 3, config mode 4. I know they're already off to the side as actual keys, but I set this as a standard for myself. So and I suspect interesting. I do not want rapid trigger on by default typing profile, which is essentially my same as my typing profile. However, rapid on the Huck on point switches, you have to have the dead zone set, and that is and that's fine. Okay. So basically, and then I don't really use socked and stuff, okay. But turn that off. 1.2, that's fine. Can we tell it what switches we've got? So you can do this by switch. By the way, don't get comm switches, they're stupid. They sound so empty and plasticky. So you can calibrate them, you just don't need to. Or it's going to do it itself. Nope. This is a good way for me to test all of my sensors. Okay. Do I need to do it for everyone? Nah, I shouldn't. Okay, so that is this keyboard. Nice. Comparing it to some of the other software, let's talk about that, shall we? We are gonna remove this for a moment. We're going to bring out the Newfie. I bring out the Newfie because the Newfie is one of the best softwares that I've encountered. And it does not show up as a compatible device here, just checking. All right. Well, except for the fact that the Newfie needs more power than this little cable can supply. I forgot about that. So, when you have older, I think this is connected to the computer, and it should supply enough power. No, not connected to the computer, just connected to power. But you are. I need a mouse. Who needs a mouse, really? Alright. Just kidding. We're going to plug this in here. And place our mouse back. Great. Alright, now we can do Newfie. Come on. Or not. Come on. Okay, great. Sorry about that delay. Yes. And we are currently set to Windows mode. So this is the Newfie software. And you can see it has a lot of the same stuff. It's got the per key RGB, macro recording, trigger settings, initial dead zone, which I have set to 0 on this guy for some reason. You know, rapid trigger. The only thing that this has that not a lot of other ones have is the ability to select the polling rate. I like being able to select the polling rate because I don't need 8,000 hertz polling rate most of the time. I'm not sure what tachyon mode is. That's just a fancy word for stupidity. This has your layers set to, you have 4 layers instead of 2, so that's nicer. And your layers are set based on your physical M layer, which is the media layer, which is a physical switch in the back that you cannot currently see. Minimize. You can see here that allows you to switch between your profiles instead of using a hotkey, which, you know, good or bad, you know, it's up to the individual user. But yeah, but the power draw on the Newfie is so much more than most of my other keyboards, like pretty much all of my other keyboards. Now, alternatively, no, actually, we're just going to set you here. Let's grab something a little bit more not that much. Okay. So I've got my AL80 currently residing inside of a salvation case. So it's a little bit fancier. No, this one. You'll see this comes right up. Let me switch this back over to. And let's see what switches are in here. I think that they're Gateron Pros. They are. So these are Jade Pros, basically the same switches that came originally in that keyboard. They kind of sound better in here, I think. So this is the software for the Aula Hero. And again, you have 4 profile. You have only 1 function layer. Actually, let's try something real quick. Come here, you. Okay, it does not show up. Just checking. I was wondering whether or not this wasn't just an OEM PCB, because, I mean, it really... The AL60 has... or sorry, the Win60, not the Hero. The Win60 has pretty much all of the same stuff. Like, down to this HM, HH, CY, COM, your deadband, your travel. I mean, obviously, this software is not... It's not as good. I mean, it's just... They did not put a lot of time into this design. But aside from that, it has basically the same functionality. I don't think that, you know, we need to harp on that. I'm gonna toss this back in there. The difference is that has basically the same functionality as the MelGeek, except for it's a 60%, and it is only $30. $40? I think it's $30. I know I got mine for... Well, actually, I think I got mine for $12. So, you know. And then the last one, I was gonna bring out the MelGeek M1, but I'm trying to keep it almost apples to apples, so I'm staying in the 60-65% range. And then you have this. This is my Venom. This is the Venom 60, and again, power draw on this is minimal. It has no RGB, and I mean, but the purples. Check out the purples. Why aren't you seeing my keyboard? You should be seeing my keyboard. Maybe it does need more power. Let's find out. It did. Oh. Okay. So this is the Venom. Venom actually updates their software a lot. This is their latest version. You can go into settings, check your firmware. Current stable firmware is 80. That is what I have. I'm not upgrading to beta because I don't need it. You can set quick setup, which is, you know, making things just fancy. Actuation point, rapid trigger, dead zone, switches. I love their switches setup because it has basically everything from 3.4 millimeters to 4.2, plus it lists common ones. Currently, I have mine set for 3.9, which are the reds, which are the what is in here right now. You can remap. There are a main layer and 4 other layers. There are 4 profiles that you can configure on here as well. Then you have your advanced keys socked. A socked, which is new. DKS, tap hold, OKS. Add a modifier to a normal key for shortcut functionality. Then you can set focus keys that give priority to certain keys over other keys. If things get pressed, it'll take the main key over it. And then you have lighting effect. Now the lighting effect is actually for the caps lock key for each profile. So it will light up. You can't really see it right now if you were to be able to see it, because reds don't have light coming through. So there's that. And then the indicator color would be when the caps lock is on. So I have purple and lilac for my colors. With the exception of not being able to adjust the 8,000 hertz polling rate, that is the only reason this is not my absolute favorite HE software. Just that. And even that is, from what I hear, is not that big a deal. I've heard people talk about it a lot. Somebody recently said that keyboards, it doesn't matter as much. But, you know, who's to say? Only you and your computer know for sure. So, but going back, and this guy off to the side. Put the case for this. So just have it. Put it back where we had it. Okay. By the way, if you hadn't seen my little purple tofu venom, so nice with the reds in it. And let's take it back to the bridge, shall we? So the keyboards that we have today. What are my thoughts? Let's start with the AL80. The AL80. It has a decent finish. The knob doesn't quite match up with the we're just gonna dump that. We don't need it anymore. The screen is nice, but the viewing angle is shit. So if you expect to be able to actually see it while you're sitting at your desk, well, you'll probably be sorely mistaken. The Gateron Zero switches that came in it are good enough to pass my muster. I did not feel the need to change these switches. I pulled out the PET sheet and it made the whole thing a lot poppier, combined with GMK keycaps. Yeah, I think that this is a winner. It's kind of pricey. I spoke too soon. So they say that the MSRP for this is $139, and it's currently set at $109.99, and I think $109.99 is a decent price for this. It's a pre-built. You don't need to do anything to it. You can't do that much to it. You could tape mod it if you wanted, but I mean, why would you? You wouldn't. There's no need. This is one of those cases where you have a keyboard that if you like it, it's good enough to just buy and use. So great starter for people that you know that just want a mechanical aluminum keyboard and don't want to get into the hobby really. Or if you're somebody who's in the hobby and you want a keyboard that you can mess with, you know, it's a little expensive for a beater board, but it's not horribly so at $109. So if you have the need for this kind of keyboard and you like the 75% layout, then definitely the AL80 is a win. Yes. Now the MelGeek Made68. It's not a bad keyboard. The cost point though. So, hold on. Let me get back to them. Well, they might not even be selling it anymore. Let's see. Well, on eBay, you could buy it for $250. Don't do that. Yeah, I think that the retail price on the MelGeek was about $100. So for $100, it comes with Gateron Jade Pros, so that's a win. Their keycap set, excuse me. Let me take a drink. Their keycap set was not great. It was a little 1.2 double shot keycaps, and they sounded like they actually made the keyboard worse. So for that, keep in mind that you're probably going to want to invest in some other keycaps. You don't need to spend as much as Keykobo keycaps cost. Even these were on sale. I got them for $60, but I mean, it still brought this keyboard for what I spent on it from $80 for the keyboard, and then $60 for the keycaps. Even if we were to put the Jades back in, which they would probably sound better with the keycaps, I mean, you're still in for $150. At the $150 mark, you're probably looking at some better quality keyboards. So keep that in mind, or even getting something like the Aloe Hero for like $30, which has basically the same software, 8,000 hertz polling, as well as, you know, just generally being not that bad a starting point. And you can just upgrade it, you know, buy some Jade Pros or Geon Raws or whatever else you want, and put them in there. Then get some decent keycaps, and you're still going to be underneath the $150 price tag that this board, you know, the $100 plus getting new keycaps for it would cost you. So I would say that the MelGeek Made68 as is a pass. I would say that the MelGeek, actually I would say pass on the MelGeek Made series, because the Ultra is like $200. For $200, you can start to get like you could build a really nice Venom for $200. And frankly, that is a better board. Just flat out, that's a better board. Even if you have to buy a case for it, and switches and keycaps, you could probably do all of that and build yourself exactly what you want for less than $200. Probably. Or if not less than, not that much higher. So, yes. Light bar aside, which is alright, but I mean, it's not a it's not a game changer. It's not a game changer. But yeah, I think this would be a pass for me. And so yes to this. I think this was a very nice board for the price, certainly. And I think that this is it's an alright board, but they want too much for it. And in this market, it's just the design, the ABS plastic case, you know, it's a novel design with a light bar, but that doesn't justify a $100 price tag. A light bar does not justify a $100 price tag. And if you already have one of these, love it. Just, I mean, rock it out, dude. Again, it's not a bad board. It just not worth the price. I mean, I will once again say what is especially not worth the price, and that is the glorious Hall Effect keyboard, which, you know, $250, $300 for their keyboard is an even worse deal than this is, and this isn't a great deal. So yeah, with that, I think I'm gonna wrap this up, unless anybody wants to see any of the keyboards. Did y'all see the final edit for the Eave65 upgrade? I got my so we ended up putting KP Republic's Ghost Judge Space on here, and I side. I want to show off a keyboard that actually is cool. So I'm just kind of going with kind of a yellowish white to kind of go with the color of the keyboard itself. Especially in the light on the camera, it actually looks an even better shade, like even closer to what I would want. Yeah, this is actually really nice. And it's yeah, again, let's just talk about this for a sec. I mean, that's $100, but it's a pre-built. This is $50, and you gotta buy switches and keycaps for it. But I mean, you would get the Eve Plus, so you would get it in its final form. And again, this is like, aside from the lack of Hall effect, which obviously is important, but I mean, if you're just a casual gamer like myself, this is really all the keyboard you need, and it's nice. Fortunately, the shipping, you have to pay shipping on the Eave65, so it's rough. It's rough. Anyway, all right. With that, let me see. I didn't see anybody earlier streaming. Maybe there is somebody streaming now that we could raid. Does not look like it. So I will wrap it up here. Apparently Labor Day, everybody's taken off, and so I guess I should have too. But thanks for showing up, and there will be no stream on Sunday since I am going to see The Breakfast Club. So I will see you in roughly about 2 weeks. And again, I really appreciate you all. Anybody who shows up, even if you didn't show up this time, if you showed up last time or next time,